What'd you say?
I said shit.
I think that's the first thing on the recording. So,
Perfect.
that's delightful. You see the Draft Network.
I see that beautiful screen.
Beautiful. I guess I should probably start like actually introducing the videos when we do this thing, but like I really don't care to. But it's another mock draft. It's Tuesday. We normally record them on Mondays, but it was the Natty last night. So we're here on a Tuesday at 11:45 a.m. recording this thing between my student teaching classes. So after this, I got to go back to my 6th grade language arts students.
Give us a sub if you don't already.
Oh yeah, for sure. Please sub. And really, what I like the most is comments. I like comments. I like hearing what people think. I like to reply to the comments. There's nothing wrong with that. You can't see Hunter's face today because he's on his phone, but you can see my face. But mostly, hopefully, you can see the Draft Network screen because we're gonna get right into this mock draft. I feel like we'd be doing a disservice to anybody if we did anything but the only first round pick that's ever been mocked ever in this draft. Trevor Lawrence to the Jags first. Trevor Lawrence has been a number 1 overall pick like since he came out of high school. It's stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say Trevor Lawrence makes too much sense.
Yeah, I mean, like when we watched last night in the Natty, Justin Fields didn't look great. I don't think he looked like bad, but he just didn't. I mean, he didn't look like Trevor Lawrence. So I think that conversation should be pretty much over. But you know what's going to happen. I mean, people, he'll test well or something like that, or Trevor Lawrence won't run a 40, and then it'll be a whole thing. So, and this shit happens every year. Like, I swear to God. Number 2, it's the Jets. I think the Jets got to pick QB, right? I mean,
well, okay. So hear me out. We normally try to change it up with the Jets pick every week.
Right. So we're gonna go Penny Sewell.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
I mean, yeah, we could. I was actually honestly going to suggest Penny Sewell to Miami at 3, so we could go Penny Sewell at 2.
Let's change it up a little bit.
Why not? Okay, let's go Penny Sewell at 2. Maybe Justin Fields was their guy, and then they didn't like what he saw in the Natty, which you shouldn't judge based on one game, but
or maybe the Northwestern game hurt that bad.
Maybe so. I mean, they picked Mekhi Becton in the first round last year. But if you have Mekhi Becton and Penny Sewell on 2 sides of your line, that is terrifying. And George Fant has been okay this year on the other side of that line, but I don't know how much faith Jets have in him. I'm not sure how much faith I have in him, so I'm down with Penny Sewell. And Penny Sewell can play guard if they wanted to. They shouldn't pick him at 2 if he's going to play guard. But
yeah, either way, but it gives them a way to build the roster cheaply.
Yeah.
And so that way next year they could potentially shoot for a quarterback.
Yeah. And the quarterbacks next year look pretty good. I think it's like Sam Howell, right?
Sam Howell, JT
Spencer Rattler, Eden Slovis.
Potentially Spencer Rattler. Slovis,
yeah, potentially. Carson Strong, right?
Carson Strong, Jaden Daniels. I don't know if I said JT Daniels already. Desmond Ritter. Yeah, and Desmond Ritter too.
Yeah, Desmond Ritter could be QB1 next year. I mean, depends on how well Cincinnati plays.
I'm worried that his stock isn't really going to increase that much.
You don't think so?
At least for me. But
yeah, I mean, it depends on the season. If he goes back and really like touches up his technique, touches up his mechanics, like starts to look like clean, then that's dangerous because he's already like, all the tools you want, all the like intangibles, all the tangibles rather, the height, the arm power, all that. So
he has every physical tool you want. His mechanics are just a little rough around the edges.
Right, but if he goes back, Cincinnati has a great season. He looks good. I think it's a possibility. He comes in the first round. Miami at 3.
Let's give Devontae Smith, bro.
Yeah. Okay. So I was gonna say after last night, like I'm a Jamar Chase number 1 guy. After last night, Devontae Smith looked untouchable. He went out after the first half and had 215 yards and 3 touchdowns. So, first guy to win the Heisman as a wide receiver since I'm trying to remember who.
It was Desmond Bryant Desmond.
Yeah.
Fucking ESPN anchor. I just cannot remember his name right now. Desmond Howard.
Yeah. So I mean, looked untouchable. I think for me, Jamar Chase would be my guy. But I respect Devontae Smith at 3 because I think he is that good. Which it's an anomaly. He weighs 175 pounds, but he's amazing. So
I also think the previous repertoire with Tua would be fantastic, unless they try to trade for Deshaun.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole different situation because if they traded for Deshaun, then this is Houston's pick.
If they give Tua pick 3 and like a second rounder this year and a second rounder next year for Deshaun.
Yeah, the thing is if this is Houston's pick and they have Tua, they might as well pick Devontae Smith anyway.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Because they don't have a receiver.
Yeah, Houston getting it would still change things up a little bit though.
For sure.
But
yeah, I mean that would throw a wrench in our little mock draft situation we got going on, especially with no trades that we got going on right now. So the Falcons pick at 4. The Falcons pretty much have their pick of quarterbacks, which is nice if they want to go there.
I think if they have Justin Fields on the board, I feel like you have to go Fields with the new coach and the new GM because I think they're going to want to get their guy.
Completely agree. Hometown guy. He's from Kennesaw. If Justin Fields is on the board, I think you pick Justin Fields if you're the Falcons. That's also my look. Also, this is why I wanted to pick Penei Sewell early because we haven't gotten the chance to talk about what do the Bengals do if there's no Penei Sewell.
Yeah.
They can go corner.
Yeah. So what do you think they do if they?
I mean, the thing is, so they could do a couple different things. The line needs to be refurbished. They need some help on the line. They could trade back, because I don't think many people between until like 13 or 14. I don't think anybody's picking line. So maybe the Cowboys. It depends. But you could trade back. But if you're sticking, I guess you pick corner or maybe. I mean, you could pick Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like trading back would be the logical move.
Agree.
That way they could get like a Darisaw or a Slater, and accumulate more picks too. Because like 5's a little rich for Darisaw or Slater, in my opinion. But
maybe a reach.
It might be a reach, but at the same time, like I feel like we have to consider that here too, because of the fact Burrow got just destroyed this year.
Yeah, I mean, trading back would solve that.
Yeah, I mean, granted, this is a very, very deep offensive line class. Like,
yeah,
my top 7 tackles all have first or second round grades.
Yeah. You go all the way down here from Darisaw to Cosme. You could pick all those in the first round. I wouldn't blink an eye.
The thing is, like, you could scroll down a little bit lower too from there and get Dylan Radins also in the first round, and you get Tevin Jenkins in the second, and that'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to pick a couple of players on the line.
Yeah, I think they have to get at least 2 this draft, like 2 starters.
Yeah, and I mean, you can get good value in the interior later. Like if you get Ben Cleveland.
If you get Ben Cleveland or like Sedarius Hutcherson.
Yeah.
So this shout out to you.
Sedarius Hutcherson. He DM'd you on Twitter.
Yeah.
There you go.
He actually DM'd me today asking what kind of draft grade I would give him.
You gotta tell him the truth.
Oh no, I told the truth. Yeah.
So then if we're agreeing that we can go tackle later, like tackle in the second round, maybe IOL in the third, then we're gonna go corner here or receiver.
I don't think they need receiver. I'm almost tempted to still reach on Slater.
Okay.
But like the thing is, if they miss, like I think you need to tackle like. Because do you want a decent tackle or do you want a good tackle to keep Joe Burrow upright?
I mean, anything's better than what they've got now.
Oh yeah, yes, yes. I'm almost tempted to say let's just grab Slater here, so that way they can play their best 5 on the offensive line.
Let's do it. We'll take Slater at 5. That's
rich, but I feel like
it's rich, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. And if your guy is gone, then
you got to keep the franchise QB upright.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Number 6, the Philadelphia Eagles. Parsons is still on the board. We can go Parsons, or you can go receiver.
Bro, this pick is so weird now because Carson Wentz might not get dealt. Jalen Hurts has looked very wishy-washy.
Inconsistent for sure.
Yeah, as the starter. Granted, he has no weapons and they're old, but then like, do you want to grab like a Zach Wilson here? That could be fun, but then like at the same time, Parsons or a receiver or I don't know, dude. Philly's in a terrible spot.
They're in a terrible spot. I think if you spend a second rounder on a quarterback last year, you don't go quarterback this year. Give him because he's looked inconsistent, but he's a rookie that didn't get much playing time, with no weapons and a hurt line.
Yeah.
So maybe give him a year. I think that they should deal Wentz, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So, I mean, maybe Jalen Hurts will continue sitting.
I think Chase would be good here.
Agree. Yeah, I'm down to go Chase. I mean, if Chase is still on the board, I think you go Chase.
It feels almost like skipping Parsons here just feels not right.
Yeah, it's just that the Eagles traditionally.
There are the maturity issues that Parsons has. So Chase might be the move here.
Let's go Chase. Let's see where we go, because you pick Chase here, and you got the Lions next, who are also picking receiver probably, but they could pick linebacker too. They could pick Parsons even. They're looking for QB pressure.
All depends on who the new coach is. I think they get in a Waddle here.
Yeah, Waddle even hurt in the national championship game looked pretty good.
He should not have been playing.
No, absolutely not. I mean, he was limping, but he was still making catches. It's unbelievable.
They should have played him kind of like what they did with Landon Dickerson, like at the end of the game.
At the end of the game, kind of like a one last hurrah type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
That was my favorite thing last night. I love Landon Dickerson.
Landon Dickerson's a good guy. I'd be interested to see what this looks like, in a couple months when Stafford is possibly gone.
Yeah, because
then Lions are in the QB conversation.
Exactly, and then with Wilson and Lance right here, like that's the dream scenario. Is like you get to pick between those two.
Yeah, but I think as of right now they go Waddle.
Didn't we mock Wilson in them last week?
Possibly. I can't remember anything anymore.
I can't ever remember where.
I think I had like brain damage, but Jalen Waddle. That's 3 wide receivers in the top 7. That's exciting.
I mean, it feels right though.
Yeah, I mean for the talent that's in the top of this receiver class for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised though if the receivers fell, just like depending on how the draft pans out. It'd be very interesting.
Dude, this draft is gonna be so weird.
Yeah,
there's gonna be some major sliders and some major risers.
Yeah, some Rashawn Slaters that go in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like GMs are gonna go after like their guys incredibly early.
Yeah. At 8, we have the Panthers. I think the Panthers have a lot of options here, because you could go Zach Wilson. And sit him behind Teddy. I don't think that they should do that, but it's a very, very possible thing. They could go Kyle Pitts here, add a weapon to that offense, or you could start bulking defense. You go Parsons, you even go possibly JOK or a corner. So I feel like the Panthers have a ton of options here.
I feel like at this point you have to consider it be Wilson Lance or a corner.
Wilson Lance or a corner.
Because their corners are shite. And,
yeah.
But I also feel like the owner, Tepper, wants to have a fast rebuild. So I feel like he might try to get a franchise quarterback.
I mean, yeah. I think that they could go Zach Wilson here if he gets to them. Just because there's been so much talk of Zach Wilson possibly at 2.
Yeah.
That they see that value and they're like, all right, Yeah,
I mean, I feel like they should wait on a quarterback for next year.
Agree.
Just because their roster is so devoid of talent.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, the thing is if they pick a quarterback here, he'll probably sit anyway.
Yeah.
So
maybe go Farley or PS2 here.
Yeah, I'm down for Patrick Surtain. I think that that feels like a good pick. A solid corner 1. Because that the defense, the offense was fine this year. I mean, not amazing, but it was fine. The defense was garbage.
Grant, it's also all dependent on if Brady gets a head coaching job, which looks very likely more and more by the day.
Yeah, possibly even inside the division. So it'll be interesting. Yeah. But let's go Surtain here, and now we have another corner needy team. But we could also go, like I said with the last pick. I mean, we could go several places here. We go edge, go corner. You can go line if you want to.
I think they might go Parsons here with
Parsons
for Denver. Yeah, because he fits the Vic Fangio defense that does a lot of different things. Because they can kick him, they can brush him as a pass rusher, they can play him as a backer. They can do whatever they want with him.
Yeah, he's played off the edge. He's played in zone coverage. He's played all sorts of stuff. So, if Parsons falls to 9, I think scoop him up for sure.
Yeah, and I think Fangio has faith in Drew Lock too. So.
Yeah, I mean, give him one more year, see what happens, and not the worst thing in the world. The Dallas Cowboys pick at 10, and we've mocked Surtain to them a lot, which he's not here. I mean, we could go line. I just feel like pass defense is their biggest need.
Yeah, I want to sit here and say corner is their biggest need, but I have this weird feeling Tyron Smith might retire this offseason or retire next offseason.
Yeah, so then we go Darrisaw.
I want to say Darrisaw, but I feel like Mike McCarthy's job is really going to hang on this draft. So I feel like you might go corner here.
Yeah, and go. I mean, we got Farley. Horn at 10 feels a little rich, but
I feel like it'd be Farley here. Put him opposite of Trevon Diggs.
Yeah, I think ideally they would be able to get Surtain, just essentially take what was last year's Bama pass defense and put it back together. Surtain and Trevon Diggs. But,
exactly. Although I do feel like with the Dan Quinn hire, they will like the bigger, lankier corners. So Farley feels
Farley's that for sure.
Because Dan Quinn's defense depends on an edge rush or pass rush, and they have that in Dallas. One of the few things they have is a solid front seven.
Yeah, for sure. I think Caleb Farley's a good pick for them there. The Giants pick at 11. We've mocked JOK here. We've mocked edge rushers here.
Okay, you always like me picking these terribly hard mocked teams.
Yeah.
So whenever you gave me the Giants yesterday and they were hard, so I'm gonna make you pick the Giants pick today.
Okay. I mean, if a corner falls to them, I think they could easily go corner. I think JOK is the easy pick here. Because the more, I mean, Parsons obviously opted out, but the more I watch of JOK and Micah Parsons, the closer I see them.
Yeah.
JOK was just so good this year. So I honestly wouldn't even mind JOK over Parsons. But I think JOK is the best pick here because I think edge is like a pass rush is probably like a bigger need, but JOK can do more. You have like more options with him, and I think that's like becoming a bigger thing with defensive players in the NFL. You look at Parsons. I mean, we were talking about Simmons last year. He didn't really get used in the right way. Even like Jeremy Chin last year.
Yeah.
So he's a safety, but JOK I think is a good pick here for the New York Giants, and he's a Butkus Award winner, so don't mind that at all. 12. Do you think the 49ers pick Zach Wilson?
This is the dream situation where they're stuck picking between Wilson or Trey Lance and not having a trade.
Right. I mean, this is obviously I think they have bigger needs, but I think you can get better second round corners or second round linemen than you can second round quarterbacks.
Especially in this draft.
Huge fall off. Huge fall off.
This draft class, like after like the top 6, is like typically like round 5 guys.
Yeah, I mean after the top 4, you have to pick between Trask and Jones.
Jones gets a second and Trask gets a third for me.
Yeah. So I think if Zach Wilson falls to you, you got to pick him.
I think so too.
Because you can go in the second round. We talked about this before. Other teams, normally they go a little bit earlier, so I wouldn't be too scared of it.
Yeah. Because it makes you think Garoppolo will probably end up somewhere else too.
Yeah, probably a trade. I mean, they I don't know. They've seen they can do it without him, kind of. I mean, they were really hurt this year, but even being really hurt and no quarterback, I think that like Garoppolo just looks replaceable pretty much.
Yeah, it's like the Garoppolo line.
Now. Yeah, is that same Kirk Cousins whatever line that we were talking about is like just perfectly average, and like Zach Wilson has multiple tools and has that like crazy big play type thing that that Pat Mahomes has. Not saying he's Pat Mahomes, saying like he just does like crazy things sometimes, and then you're like, wow.
He has the same mindset.
It's yeah, which is detrimental sometimes. Sometimes he tries to do too much. But yeah, same mindset for sure. So I think Shanahan would be very happy to have Zach Wilson. At 13, we can go a few different places here too, because I think we could go Horn here. I think we could go Kyle Pitts. I think we could go Darisaw. I even think we could probably go Edge, and I wouldn't really be mad at it. But what do you think here?
I feel like Darisaw should be the pick here because you have to keep Herbert upright.
Yeah.
But something about Kyle Pitts with Justin Herbert just feels so nice. But until Hunter Henry leaves in free agency, if he leaves in free agency, I don't think that pick's going to happen.
Yeah, I say we go tackle. Because you're not going to get much done without the trenches. I think that's like my mindset, and so
yeah.
Although Kyle Pitts is the sexy pick, the Vikings. I feel like all we do is mock interior. Like all we do is mock a guard here.
I literally feel like it's Wyatt Davis or pretty much every time.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's change it up. Let's go Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. So we're drafting a quarterback. We're gonna sit him behind Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
And wait a year or two and then kind of move on. What is Kirk Cousins' contract? No. I'm gonna Google it. It's okay.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sitting here watching you Google it. Thank you, Spot Track.
Yeah, Spot Track. I actually was using this earlier. If I'll put this in the description. But if you want to follow us on Twitter, at H Thompson NFL, at Arcado NFL, you can find us tweeting. I was tweeting about the Colts earlier, and how they have a ridiculous amount of cap space through 2022.
That's actually not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. I think you draft Trey Lance because if you can 2023 he's 35. You're not going to re-sign him probably anyway. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Look at that. I mean, I don't think it's their biggest need, but we talked about it before. The interior of the offensive line, you can grab some good guys in the middle rounds, second, third, fourth, maybe. Trey Lance, you're not going to get another guy like him in this draft, at least. It might as well make him sit for a couple years, clean it up a little bit. He's young. He's young. So
exactly.
The Patriots. So I've seen a lot of mocking of Kyle Pitts to the Patriots.
We are guilty.
Go receiver.
Kyle Pitts.
Or I'm thinking, what about Zaven Collins?
I like Zaven Collins. I feel like Belichick will go Pitts here if he's available.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, for me, is I always I don't know. I think Pitts has the flash and all of that. I think Belichick seems more like a Freiermuth guy.
I think so too.
Freiermuth is a solid blocker, still a good receiving tight end, but can do all of the tight end things rather than like the Darren Waller type tight end.
I mean, we could really see Belichick go both and have a repeat of the Gronk and Hernandez era.
Yeah, horrifying. And he did pick 2 tight ends last year, so who knows?
Yeah. I do think that Patriots might trade back.
Yeah, I think that's very possible. Let the Jags pick up, or the Jags trade up here and pick.
Especially if the Patriots trade like a pick for Garoppolo, they might try to trade this one back to try to pick up whatever they traded.
Picks again, yeah. But since we're not doing trades, I think let's go Pitts here. I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense for sure.
I just think it's fun.
I think it's fun too. I mean, if they get a quarterback, that's pretty scary. The Cardinals. I think we go CB, we go edge.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm listening.
Kenyon Drake was bad.
Okay.
Kenyon Drake was really bad.
Yeah, I think that was partially due to the line. Give me some more.
Partially, yeah. But you know who doesn't necessarily need a fantastic line? Najee.
We're going to pick Najee at 16?
Bro, that man was built in a lab. Like, he's so good.
Let's go Najee. I think that the Cardinals could use defense way more. Patrick Peterson is aging. The pass rush is not very good.
Oh, yeah, no, dude, I don't disagree by any means.
Najee Harris is a sexy pick. Let's do it.
And I feel like Kingsbury's going to try to save his ass because his offense looked rough this year.
Yeah, it didn't look like the same high power offense that we've seen before. Najee Harris at 16 is rich, but goodness gracious. All right. I think if Kwity Paye is here, we go Kwity Paye.
Kwity Paye's good. I like that.
And for the Raiders, because the offense is probably fine. Like it's not great, but
it's an average to slightly above average offense.
Yeah, I think the defense needs some help though, and especially if you're going to be playing against the Chargers, who are on the come up as an offense. If you're going to be playing against the Chiefs, I think you gotta go to Kwity Paye.
The thing is, the Broncos are also no slouch either.
No, not at all. Not at all. At 18, I think the Dolphins probably need to go line. Whether that's like a guard or a tackle or whatever, but
yeah, I feel like it's gonna be Vera Tucker if This is what the actual board's looking like, because of the versatility of guard and tackle.
I lost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I lost you for a second there, but you're talking about Elijah Vera Tucker possibly being a guard and tackle.
Yeah, I feel like the versatility of him being guard and tackle is good for them.
Yeah, I think he's just a solid guy on the inside. Could play tackle well as well. So they picked Austin Jackson last year, also out of USC.
I feel like
reunited that line.
Yeah, I feel like with Vera Tucker, it might be one of those guys that like you draft him, and he's an immediate NFL starter for 10 years, but might not get like any Pro Bowls or anything.
Yeah,
like, be a solid 10-year starter on the line, which is what Miami needs. Kato, hello.
Yeah, just super top. Hello?
Hello.
Hello. I keep losing you. One more time.
Connection lost. Oh, okay. Hello. Hello. Kato.
We're back. Hello?
Okay, cool. I can hear you again. Awesome. Bet.
You there?
Yeah, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I bet.
All right.
Damn,
Little technical issue there. I don't know what that was. It was just like slow motion. I don't know what was happening.
Skype really blew a 10-year lead to Zoom. Okay, cool. Washington. Yeah, hello. Kato.
What?
Yeah, okay, cool. I got you again.
Okay, you can hear me fully now.
Yeah, I can hear you fully. Okay. Wow.
Okay.
Jeez.
That was a mess in the middle right there. That was like directly in the middle of our mock draft.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Washington.
Washington. Okay. Keep cutting in and out.
No, that's because I paused. I don't really know what to do.
Okay, Washington. So yeah, so I think we're in trouble here at Washington, because I mean you go tackle, but like I mean the tackles are good but not great. Like I think they're still first rounders here. I mean you go Cosme.
This is where a lot of my guys start becoming like second round grades or like fringe firsts. So like it feels a bit rich for a couple of them.
Yeah.
It feels way too rich for Mac Jones. And then
I mean, we go receiver.
So we could go Bateman.
Yeah.
Or Terrace
I wouldn't be mad at Bateman. I wouldn't be mad at either of these guys.
I'm good with one of those two.
All right, let's go Bateman here. I think Bateman is probably honestly in the argument for top 3 for me, just with Waddle's injury. I mean Waddle's like a different kind of speed, but Rashad Bateman is just so solid.
Yeah.
So I'm down with Rashad Bateman right there to Washington. And now here we are. Still, we can stick with wide receiver here if we want to. Allen Robinson leaving, but I think the line needs some help in Chicago too.
I think they should pull the trigger on a lineman here. But
yeah, I think so too.
I think they're going to end up drafting Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Because I think
I
think they're going to get scared.
Yeah, I think with how the quarterback, I mean, they could be a trade up candidate possibly for a quarterback.
Yeah.
If a quarterback falls far enough, they could easily pull the trigger and trade up. But yeah, I think they'll be afraid. Mac Jones would probably sneak into the first. I don't see Kyle Trask sneaking into the first. Um,
At least
yeah, Mac.
I hope Kyle Trask doesn't sneak into the first.
No, I'd be sad. I think the Colts need to go tackle. As of today, Anthony Costanzo retired.
Yes.
So I think the Colts just should go tackle. I mean, because you probably got a QB need, but I think you go for a more veteran QB.
Yeah.
Maybe look for Garoppolo, look for Stafford, maybe.
Carson Wentz, maybe.
Maybe.
Honestly, maybe Jameis.
Yeah, that's very possible. I could see any of them, and we know Jacoby Brissett is serviceable. Like, yeah. He's the guy you want as your backup, but he'll do if you have to. You know,
so he can be the bridge guy if it really comes down to it.
Yeah.
Well,
so
you want to go your boy here? Let's go Cosme.
Yeah, I'm super down for Cosme here. I think Cosme has a lot of raw power. He could add some stuff on his bottom half, add some weight, but I think he's a solid pick for an NFL tackle, and he'll have some big shoes to fill with Costanzo. But yeah, I think Cosme's good there.
Also, the draft network having 44 on Jackson Carman is way too rich.
Yeah, I don't really understand that. But because they've got Radins and like Tevin Jenkins down here and Jackson Carman way up here. Tevin Jenkins at 65, Jackson Carman at 44.
Yeah, that's just way too rich for Jackson Carman. All right.
Yeah. Tennessee. So Tennessee, they've got we already they've got Corey Davis probably leaving this year in free agency, right?
I wouldn't be surprised if he sticks around.
Gets
paid, sticks around.
So then we go edge. We've only put one edge off the board so far.
You want to go Joseph Asai or Ojulari here?
Yeah, I feel like Ojulari is sneaky high on a lot of draft boards.
Yeah.
I think Ojulari could be the second off the board.
I think so too. I think he might even be the first.
Yeah, he very well could be. I feel like there's a lot of turmoil at the top in this edge class, so very possible for sure. The Jets. So we picked Penny Sewell first, so no quarterback.
What about J.C. Horn here?
J.C. Horn still isn't off the board. We also still don't have Terrace Marshall off the board. So I think we should pick between those two, but
I think it should definitely be between those two. My only concern with Marshall is that they have a player very similar in Denzel Mims.
Oh, they did pick Denzel Mims. That's true. That's true.
We could see them go like Kadarius Toney here.
Fair. I do think. I don't know.
I think their defense needs a lot of work, though.
Yeah, I say Horn is. Horn. We've seen him play all year or most of the year. Really solid, aggressive press coverage guy. I mean, I like him here.
Yeah, I think he can do it all, and he's definitely a first-team all-chirper, and I have a sweet spot for that. So
yeah.
Part of the reason why I love Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, but I also hate Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I feel like I would love him if he didn't play for the Saints.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he plays in the same division as the Falcons. I was talking to our friend Matthew Watkins on Twitter earlier today about this Steelers pick, because he was talking about, what if Pouncey retires? I was like, it's cool. Like, we got plenty of second-round centers you can pick.
So you can even go like Creed. You could go Creed Humphrey.
Yeah, I mean,
you really want to.
Yeah, but I think for right now, considering Pouncey is still in the game, I think the pick here with Najee Harris off the board as well should be tackle.
It should be offensive line in general.
Yeah,
their line is way too old.
Yeah, completely agree.
I feel like Leatherwood is a Pittsburgh pick, because of the versatility, and he's just a rough, physical lineman, good size, has versatility at multiple positions on the line, and he comes from Alabama, where they just
Yeah.
coach them.
Great run blocker too. So if they want to continue, they want to pick up, back and continue that kind of hard nosed running that they do in Pittsburgh. I think that's a solid pick.
Yeah, I think Leatherwood would be the best shot.
Sweet. So we picked T-Law with our first pick. Jaguars are back with the Rams pick from the Jalen Ramsey trade. So we could go. There's like that second tier of corners. I'm not really sure if I want that.
Stokes and Kendrick don't really have me feeling it here.
Yeah, we could go. I mean, I don't really think there's any like offensive weapons that are needed aside from tight end. I don't really know if I want Freiermuth here when they could pick him at 33 probably.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to go tackle because they might re-sign their left tackle.
Yeah. So
maybe honestly corner here, or it might be Stokes or Kendrick.
Well, I think Kendrick's going back actually now. So.
Oh yeah, he's off the board. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you could go Stokes. I mean, you could go ASJ here even too.
So Stokes or ASJ would be my pick. I think it's a little rich for ASJ, but
probably so. But I mean, he could be one of those that sneaks into the first round. I mean, like we saw like Damon Arnett last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm down to go Stokes. I think he's the better of the two Georgia corners, though. They'll both probably get picked within the first 2 days.
Probably.
But yeah, go Stokes. You've got CJ Henderson from last draft. You get Eric Stokes this one. I mean, two solid young corners. I'm not mad at that at all.
No. Okay, this might be honestly worst case scenario for the Browns because I think corner is their biggest need.
Yeah. So they're kind of in danger there.
Yeah, I think they might go with the board looking like this. I think probably edge or linebacker.
I'm thinking Zaven Collins.
I think Zaven Collins or Rousseau.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think because we've seen Zaven Collins off the edge enough to confirm that he can do that, and plus he's played enough coverage. He's a big guy.
I'm not as high on Zaven Collins as a lot of people. I think he's good, but I think he gets a second round grade in my book.
Yeah,
not overall. I think that's a little rich.
Is there a linebacker you have over him in the first round, or?
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. I mean, we could look at edge too. We got all of the edges here.
I know, which is tempting, because I think they might want to try to get someone to help free up Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at Rousseau.
Yeah, I think Rousseau has a lot of the same physical traits as Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, maybe not same physical traits, but similar physical traits.
Similar, yeah.
But he is raw as shit.
Yeah, but I mean, the Browns, won a playoff game this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that they can afford to pick somebody raw. It's not like they're picking. It's not like they're picking in the top 5.
Yeah, I think Stefanski's gonna have this program on lock.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm down for Rousseau if you are.
Okay, I like Rousseau.
Let's do it. It's crazy how much the edges have fallen in this draft, because there was a time at the very beginning of the season where we were mocking Rousseau to the Giants at 2.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, I mean, it still didn't feel right, but
yeah. But I mean, he could have been a top 5 pick, Yeah. Like at the beginning of the season. It's very interesting. So, Bucks are here. I think that they could go edge. Somebody I wanted to talk about is somebody who's been rising a bunch, and that's Davian Nixon.
Okay.
Still really slow, or really low rather, on Draft Network's board. But I think he could honestly like surprise people at the combine and be in the first round, and as well as Christian Barmore. Christian Barmore looked great.
I think Christian Barmore is going to be a lot of people's ideal one.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was solid last year, and then he's only risen this year. So I could see IDL here, but we could also go edge considering how many edges are on the board.
Yeah, I was thinking Barmore or Asai.
I mean, yeah, I'm down for either one of those.
Because they run that 3-4 defense. Or, well, not really. They run a weird multiple fronts defense.
Yeah.
So
but,
I'm thinking...
I mean, they're not re-signing Sue.
No. I think Barmore should be the pick here.
Let's do it. I'm down for Barmore. I like Barmore in the first. I've just really liked what I've seen from him this season. The Ravens, the Terrace Marshall is still on the board. I think that's a good pick for the Ravens.
I think so too. I feel like regardless, you have to go receiver early in this draft for Baltimore.
Yeah. I mean, if you're so desperate for an X receiver that you're going to sign Dez Bryant, then you should sign Terrace Marshall.
Yeah, you should definitely draft Terrace Marshall.
Yeah, I like him fully down. Cool. Now, the Saints, I feel like this. We talked about Zaven Collins with the Browns earlier. I feel like this is another good landing spot for him.
Yeah, I feel like this pick is either going to be Zaven Collins or Mac Jones.
Yeah, and we took Mac Jones, right? Yeah, the Bears.
Yeah.
Did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints just don't have that many weaknesses, you know?
It's literally just like their QB play.
Yeah. And like one of the best QBs ever just like is old.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can go Zaven Collins there. I'm down. The Bills. Okay, a lot of the time we go defense here. We go corner.
Yeah.
I think that we should go line.
Okay.
Because all of the IOLs are still here.
Yeah, we have not picked one yet.
No. So I'm down for Wyatt Davis. I have some favoritism. But also they need a guard. Like, and I don't want, or well, they need the line, but
okay, that is painfully low for Trey Smith.
Isn't it? Why is it so low?
Draft Network, what are you doing?
82, under 3 centers.
He's my number 2 guard behind Davis.
Well, he's their number 2 guard too. That's 3 centers that are in between them.
The only center I would put him behind is probably Creed Humphrey.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying that if I mean he's just the second guard there. That is painfully low.
Well, let's go Wyatt Davis to Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm down for Wyatt Davis. That would make my fucking day.
That could help their running game too.
Yeah. So here for Green Bay, I mean, they could go tackle, they could go receiver. I could even see them probably going linebacker, depending. I mean, this isn't a great group that's on the board for the first round.
Yeah, I think I kind of like Chris Olave here.
Yeah, I mean, very similar to Devontae Adams in my opinion.
Yeah,
very similar. Plus, Olave has had a great connection with Justin Fields this season. I don't know. I just think he'd thrive in Green Bay's offense.
I think Olave is one of those guys that gets slept on because, like, physically speaking, he doesn't necessarily have a ton of he doesn't have the same toolbox as some of the other guys.
Yeah.
But he's such a smooth route runner and just tears zone defenses apart.
Yes, absolutely. Great technician as a receiver.
Yes, fantastic.
Great technician. Wow, we've kind of flown through this. I think this one might be under an hour. I think we're decisive now. I think everything's going to change once we get some GM hires and some coaching hires.
It's a lot more of us just kind of picking what we think they should do as opposed to what we think they actually do.
Yeah. So
hopefully coaching hires will start and GM hires will start rolling out this week.
Very soon. Yeah. Because we're getting down to it with finalists. Salah's interviewed everywhere except for Houston.
Bieniemy is interviewed everywhere except for Houston.
Yeah, right. They talked about Joe Brady. So it'll be interesting soon.
Doug Peterson back in the market kind of spices things up a little bit.
Yeah, and the Eagles' job opening up is spicy.
Someone on Twitter was talking about Adam Gase going to uh, Philly.
No, I hate that. Just ruin Carson Wentz's career. It's fucking awful.
Like, there's not many coaches that are a downgrade from Peterson,
And he's one of them.
Gase is one of them. I don't think Peterson's a bad coach. I just think him and Howie Roseman had two very different views on how to build the team.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that was like, somebody, it was like an Eagles insider, and he was like, Peterson says he's all good. He was just tired of people telling him what to do. I was like, me too, dude. Like, honestly, I'm on your team this time. Like
seeing Doug Peterson, that sounds about right.
Right. I mean,
and
I feel like that's such a Phil's mindset too.
Yeah, Doug Peterson's just one of those guys. It's just like your typical like high school football dad who's like, my son should be the starting quarterback type guy.
Right, and Jalen Hurts is his son.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like,
I feel like Doug Peterson's the one like screaming from like the top row of the stands. Every week everyone's like, oh yep, there's what's his face.
There's Doug. Like there's Peterson's dad. Like he's like his son's like hiding his face on the sideline.
Exactly.
Who do we want to go for the Chiefs here? We go Kadarius Toney.
I kind of like Jalen Mayfield here.
Fine, I'm down. Jalen Mayfield's raw and young, but the Chiefs can afford it, and they might as well pick a line. Cool. I'll go through it real quick, and then we'll be good to go. Just point out some big picks. We did pick Penny Sewell at 2, so I'd love to hear about that from some Jets fans. We're just gonna keep throwing around whatever the Jets should do. I don't know. Rashawn Slater at 5 is different. I think it's a little high, but is what it is.
I like doing these weird picks because it gives us like the opportunity to like think out different stuff.
For sure, and and like because if you pick Penny Sewell at 2, then you have to talk about who's going to go at 5, or if you pick 3 quarterbacks in the first 4, then like are the Lions going to go quarterback because they're scared, or so it's I like those. Parsons at 9 to the Broncos, that's new. I like that. Wilson falling to the 49ers is crazy. I liked picking quarterback to the Vikings. I like that.
That one felt good. Normally, all 4 are gone by the Vikings pick.
Yeah, I think it should probably be line, but let's change it up. I like it. Najee Harris to the Cardinals is I feel like we just keep throwing Najee Harris in the first round. Like that's our clickbait every single time. Is like where was Najee Harris going this time? But it could be something. I think he's probably a 3-down back, but they still have Chase Edmonds to back him up. I don't know. Kenyon Drake was a trade, so
I think he's like a 5th round trade.
Oh he okay.
He's also a free agent, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, who knows where Kenyon Drake will be? But yeah, Najee Harris, that's not their biggest need, but I think it's crazy, so I think it's fun. Mac Jones to the Bears. I think we talked about this before, but they will get nervous and try and save some jobs, and so they're going to go quarterback. But we've heard rather that maybe Trubisky is keeping his job. Who knows?
No one really truly understands what Chicago's doing right now.
No, not at all. And they made the playoffs, didn't deserve to. I mean, they lost. They scored only 9 points on Nickelodeon. So, I like. I really like J.C. Horn to the Jets. That's really good value there.
Yeah, I like that one. I think him and Marcus May in the locker room together would be fun for the Jets. Yeah. And it gives them a good young secondary to work with.
Yeah. This is the first time we've put Barmore in the first round. I like him to Tampa, though, replacing Ndamukong Suh. Barmore is solid. Terrace Marshall to the Ravens just feels right.
That feels good.
Yeah, it's just a solid X receiver. He fell to 28. Take him.
Especially with Marquise Brown looking good these past couple games.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's a good looking
average. Looking like an
NFL receiver again.
Yeah. So, but I think Terrace Marshall would complete that. Plus Dobbins will be on the way up. That's going to be a high-powered offense for a while. Of course, I love Wyatt Davis to the Bills. They need a corner, but they can go corner in the second round. So I like Wyatt Davis there.
I love Olave to Green Bay.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's Olave. The Packers need to pick receiver, so I think Olave there is great. I think that's really good. And plus, you're building up that younger offensive group for hopefully the next decade or whatever. If Jordan Love develops well, you've got AJ Dillon, Chris Olave. I like that.
So you're giving Jordan Love a receiver who's going to be with him hopefully most of his career.
Yeah, totally agree. As long as he develops well, but they did it the right way with Aaron Rodgers the last time, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If follow us on Twitter, etc.
Yeah. I'll put the Twitter in the description, but you can also follow us on our podcast Twitter at the Backups Cast. Same thing as the YouTube channel. If you want to give us a sub, that'd be awesome. But most importantly, just comment. We want to hear from fans of all different teams. So if you like your pick, you don't like your pick, let us know, because I'll have dialogue with you in the YouTube comment section. I don't shy away from that. I think it's fun.
Comment, tweet at us, follow us, subscribe.
Tweet at us, yeah, for sure. If you got Twitter, send me a DM. My DM.
Interact with us. We love talking ball.
Yeah, for sure. That's we're really just on here to shoot the shit about draft season. I think draft season is our sweet spot, so it's gonna hopefully come in really nice these next few months.
And if you're still listening at this point, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for watching for a little under an hour. It was about 20 minutes shorter than normal, which is nice. Keeping it a little bit tighter, but hopefully we'll have some more guests on soon too. We'll get some more guys from our Twitter friends and kind of let it rip. So thank you for sticking with us, and join us next time.